A man without dominion over his thought is a slave to time and circumstances. Napoleon Hill. You look at the clock, and a familiar weight settles in your chest. The bitter feeling that the hours have slipped through your fingers, that you promised yourself today would be different, but fatigue and distraction won. Deep inside, you believe you have lost the day. You believe the only way out is to embrace frustration, lay your head on the pillow, and hope that tomorrow motivation will return. But there is a profound deception in that logic. The greatest failures do not happen because of a lack of talent. They begin at the exact moment mental surrender takes place. You may be only one single thought, one silent decision away from recovering absolute control over your next hours. The greatest victories, the definitive turning points in life, do not begin with applause. They begin with an invisible change inside a mind that refuses to accept defeat. Today, you will discover habits that challenge common logic. Direct actions that not only save lost time, but awaken extraordinary results from the moment you decide to take command. The natural response of almost any human being upon realizing that the day is sinking into unproductivity is hidden desperation. Most people try to fix a bad day by accelerating even more. They try to embrace the whole world, begin multiple tasks, and seek a false sense of movement to relieve the guilt eating away inside. But speed without direction only amplifies the mistake. It is like pressing hard on the accelerator of a car stuck in the mud. Napoleon Hill, after investigating the most relentless and accomplished minds of his time, understood one non-negotiable principle. Practical success is born first from the reorganization of the mind. There is no achievement in the physical world that has not first been structured and conquered in the field of thought. When your mind is chaos, your hands produce chaos. When your thoughts find order and clarity, your actions follow the same path with impressive force. Real productivity is not about how much you sweat, but about the precision of your focus. Today, you will learn powerful habits to transform what seems to be a lost day into a ramp of real progress. We are going to dismantle the mental traps that paralyze your potential. We are going to look directly at the shame of promising to change and continuing to act the same way. The weight of feeling behind in life is real, but it does not have to be your destiny. If this message has touched something deep within you, if you feel that the time has come to abandon mediocrity, subscribe and transform this moment into part of your daily ritual. Join us not as a passive spectator of circumstances, but as someone fully committed to your own evolution. What you will hear from now on requires maturity. It requires you to stop looking for excuses in external situations and look at the internal engine that drives your life. Reprogramming begins the moment you accept responsibility. Before trying to change your mechanical actions or force your body to work without direction, you need to change the thought that dominates your mind. Napoleon Hill left an unquestionable legacy when he stated, "Whatever the human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." This is not a poetic sentence to be read and forgotten. It is an inflexible law upon which your destiny is being shaped at this very second. An unproductive day is rarely born from pure laziness. It is born and fed by a defeatist thought repeated dozens of times in the silence of your mind. You tell yourself that you are tired, that the project is too difficult, that you do not have what it takes, and your mind, obediently, transforms that belief into physical paralysis. The first counterintuitive habit to reverse this scenario is to stop absolutely everything you are doing for a few minutes. Interrupt the useless fight against the computer screen or against unfinished tasks. Stay silent and begin observing your own internal conversation. Listen to what you have been telling yourself since the moment you woke up. You will notice a flood of justifications, hidden fears, and concessions to comfort. The pain of feeling insufficient tries to govern your hands, whispering that it is better to leave for tomorrow what requires courage today. But awareness is the light that destroys this illusion. Identify the dominant thought that is sabotaging your energy. Take that cowardly voice and face it head on. The process requires you to replace this narrative of failure with a clear and empowering direction. Your mind does not tolerate emptiness. If you do not give it an aggressive and well-defined purpose, it will be filled by the doubts of the environment and the ghosts of your past. Autosuggestion does not work only for success. It works wonderfully well for misery if you allow it. Your mind strictly follows the image it receives most often. If you project exhaustion, you will feel your body become heavy. If you project flawless execution, you will feel the undeniable call to action. Control of the inner image is the most neglected foundation among people who live frustrated. Stop accepting every piece of mental garbage that appears in your consciousness. You are the gatekeeper of your own mind. If a thought does not serve your definite purpose, it must be expelled immediately. The fatigue of trying and seeing no accumulated result over the years exists only because the attempts were made with a divided mind. From today on, establish dominion over your imagination. When the day seems lost, close your eyes and inject a direct, firm, non-negotiable command into your subconscious. Control the image you cultivate in secret. Control the image, and you will govern the outer result. When the clock advances and the day seems irreversibly lost, the vast majority of people commit the most lethal mistake. They postpone decisions. They believe that lack of willpower justifies temporary inaction. They choose the comfort of stagnation, waiting for a mysterious wave of productivity to invade their lives the next day. But it is exactly at the bottom of unproductivity that deciding becomes the most vital attitude of your existence. Andrew Carnegie, the steel magnate who guided Napoleon Hill, dominated the industrial world based on a simple premise. He taught that successful people make decisions quickly and change their minds very slowly. Hesitation is the cancer of human achievement. Thomas Edison found thousands of reasons why something did not work before finding the solution that illuminated the planet. He did not depend on cheap motivation to continue in the laboratory. He did not wait for the perfect mood, the ideal disposition, or the validation of others. He simply made the decision to try one more time. The counterintuitive habit here destroys the romantic idea of inspired effort. The secret is to make one small, immediate decision. In the face of paralysis, do not create a complex plan to save the entire day. Choose one single, tangible task. An email that needs to be sent, a page that needs to be written, a call you have been avoiding. Do not wait for motivation to arrive, because motivation is a passing emotion that abandons you in moments of difficulty. Do not wait for inspiration, because inspiration favors those who are already in motion. Decide on one simple action and execute it with silent and focused aggressiveness. Breaking inertia is the most painful moment of the entire process. Your mind will beg you to pick up your phone, go get a coffee, and seek any quick dopaminergic relief. The internal battle between discipline and mediocrity is fought in fractions of a second. Win that fraction of a second. Persistence is not about having occasional intensity that burns quickly and disappears. Persistence is the absolute refusal to stop moving. It is the internal commitment to take one more step, even when your ankles seem tied with lead. The individual who decides to execute a microtask in the middle of a disastrous day begins to rewrite his own identity. You prove to yourself that circumstances do not command your will. Your word becomes law. The power of decision cuts through the mental fog and establishes a new zero point. You stop being a victim of time and become the architect of the next hour. The day is only lost when you agree that it is. The instinct of someone carrying the guilt of a poorly used day is usually to force work. Many people try to work harder, punishing themselves with long hours of blind effort. But in most cases, the problem is not lack of effort, The chronic fatigue you feel does not come from physical overload, it comes from emptiness of meaning. Unproductivity is often a symptom of deep disconnection from your purpose. Autosuggestion, as a central principle of the philosophy of achievement, has no power if it is only a set of words repeated like a parrot. It only changes your reality when there is burning emotion behind the words. When you feel lost in the middle of the day, sinking into cheap distractions, ask yourself the sharpest question of all. Why does this truly matter? Why did you begin this project? Why did you promise yourself that you would change your life? Look beyond money, beyond empty recognition. Look at the freedom you desire for your family. Look at the need to prove to your own conscience that you are capable of finishing what you started. When purpose reappears at the center of your mind, physical energy returns instantly. The body responds to the call of the spirit. Visualize the final result with obsessive clarity. Feel the weight of achievement before it even happens in the material world. See yourself crossing the finish line, harvesting the fruits of your discipline. This is not a mystical practice. It is direct conditioning of your central nervous system. Applied faith, taught rigorously by Napoleon Hill, is not a passive desire waiting for the kindness of fate. Applied faith is the act of moving with the absolute certainty that the path is correct, even in darkness. It transforms weak intention into piercing action. Many give up because they have forgotten the reason for the journey. They look at the size of the mountain and forget the glory of reaching the top. Your purpose cannot be weak. It must be strong enough to pull you out of bed on the worst days. It must be big enough to make you feel ashamed of giving in to the temptation to abandon your own dream. When you align your work with a definite purpose, sacrifice stops being pain and becomes investment. Purpose has the unique ability to transform isolated actions into unshakable persistence. Recover your why at this exact moment, and inertia will completely lose its power over you. We live under the illusion that the human mind is an isolated and waterproof vault. But the cold and practical reality is that your environment speaks to your mind all the time, noisily and uninterruptedly. A disorganized work desk, full of useless papers and meaningless objects, creates a visual distraction that consumes cognitive energy without you noticing. Negative conversations, hallway gossip, or useless arguments on the internet feed your most secret doubts. Cheap information and irrelevant videos steal your focus, fragmenting your ability to go deep. You demand high performance from a brain that is being bombarded by noise. The counterintuitive habit to reverse this immediate wear is to interrupt work and use a few minutes only to reorganize the space around you. Clean the desk. Close unnecessary computer tabs. Put the phone in another room. Many judge this action as an escape or a waste of precious time, but those who understand the mechanics of the mind know that this is purely strategic preparation. Physical space reflects the internal condition, and by ordering external matter, you send a clear signal of authority to your own subconscious. Chaos has been dominated. The stage is clean for execution. True mental discipline does not begin in the act of resisting a distraction that is already in front of you. It begins much earlier, when you consciously choose what has permission to enter your mind and what must be banned. The moment you realize that no one is coming to save you is the exact moment you need to become relentless with your limits. You cannot afford to consume negativity and expect to produce excellence. The law of mental return is exact. What you plant through your senses germinates in the form of emotions and actions. Assume the role of absolute guardian of your physical and mental territory. When the environment is aligned with your purpose, it serves as a shield against discouragement. A strong environment sustains prolonged focus. A strong mind, free from other people's emotional garbage, makes decisions based on conviction and not on fear. Organization is not just a matter of aesthetics, it is the fundamental foundation of personal power. Where there is systematic order, there is a continuous flow of energy. Where there is a strong environment and a shielded mind, strong results stop being a possibility and become merely a matter of time and organized execution. If this message has touched something deep within you and you feel that you can no longer live making excuses, subscribe and transform this space into part of your daily ritual of strengthening. Leave your like to seal this silent commitment, and most importantly, go to the comments now and write which country you are listening to this video from. Let us create here a global current, a true army of people who are hungry and thirsty to win in life, and who have decided to stop negotiating with their own mediocrity. Join us. We have arrived at the core of the problem. Behind many unproductive days, camouflaged beneath laziness and perfectionism, there is a primitive and silent fear. You postpone the important project not because you are tired, but because you feel the paralyzing fear of making mistakes. Procrastination is the defense mechanism of your ego trying to avoid the pain of judgment. It is the deep fear of failing after having tried with all your strength. It is the terror whispered at night that, in the end, you may not be enough for the mission you have taken on. This is the weight of other people's opinions crushing your momentum before it even takes shape. Napoleon Hill spent decades analyzing human behavior and understood that the ghosts of fear are the greatest destroyers of wealth, relationships, and inner peace. He taught tirelessly that fear paralyzes action before the true battle even begins in the physical field. Fear creates elaborate illusions to keep you in the safety zone, and unproductivity is the physical response to this psychological intimidation. The last counterintuitive habit, and the most transformative of all, is to choose to advance precisely when fear appears. When the desire is to retreat, you take one step forward. Do not deny anxiety. Do not pretend discomfort does not exist. Look directly at potential failure and decide to act anyway. Take a small step toward what haunts you. Then take a deep breath and take another step, and then another. This slow and deliberate march destroys the illusory power of fear. Courage was never the absence of fear. Extraordinary people feel their stomach turn and their hands sweat. True courage, the trademark of leaders and achievers, is the non-negotiable ability to act despite internal terror. Action cures fear instantly. It is at this exact moment when you break paralysis and execute the task you had been avoiding all day that real transformation happens in the structure of your identity. You stop being hostage to your own emotions and take control of the helm. Silent confidence is born from this solitary victory, invisible to the world, but glorious inside you. Every time you act against resistance, you build an invincible moral armor. The day that seemed lost becomes the stage of your greatest internal victory, proving that the well-directed human spirit is absolutely indomitable. The story of a great life is not written only in moments of obvious triumph, but mainly in the hours when everything seemed lost and a silent decision changed the course of everything. An unproductive day, however frustrating it may be, does not define your life. It is only a momentary diagnosis of your internal alignment. The beauty of human nature, deeply studied in Napoleon Hill's Principles of Leadership and Mental Control, is that you possess the right and the immediate power of veto over your own thoughts. A dominant thought of defeat, however deeply rooted it may seem, can be replaced right now by a directive of unshakable focus. You do not need perfect conditions to begin again. You need one firm choice. A cutting decision made in the worst moments of stagnation has the power to radically change the direction of your destiny. Resistance will always try to convince you to leave the effort for tomorrow, but today you have learned that persistence in the face of discomfort is what forges the identity of those who refuse to be forgotten by history. Do not allow yourself to be defeated by the illusion of inertia. The tools of reconstruction are exactly where they have always been, within your own conscious dominion. This message was not made to be merely heard and filed away in your memory. It was designed and delivered to be practiced without mercy in the arena of real life. If you recognize that the time has come to abandon comfortable excuses, come back here every day. Subscribe and make this space your daily anchor point to strengthen your mind and meticulously build a new identity of success. Commitment to your own evolution does not allow casual spectators. It demands your full participation. The feeling of waste has remained in the past. Control is restored. Lift your head, clean the environment around you, reconnect with your great reason for living, and execute your next task with the precision of someone who knows exactly where they are going. The next chapter of your story, the brightest and most victorious of all, begins now, and the pen is firmly in your hands. The starting point of all achievement is burning desire. Keep this constantly in mind. Napoleon Hill.